Hello everyone, I'm Vyas Srinivasan and welcome to the Bright Colors of Inspiration. Thank you all for supporting me and my podcast. It really means a lot to me to hear that my work has been making a difference in your life. This episode will be quite different from usual episodes, since I will be answering 10 questions from my listeners. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Question number 1. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? How would you use this superpower to help others? This is a hard question, to be honest. If I were to pick just one, it would be having the ability to be a fortune teller. With that, I would be able to see the negative events that are going to arise in the near future and prevent them from happening, which would save many people's lives, and everyone could live a happy life without ever having to worry about any problems again. If I can't change the future, at least I can help others be better prepared for it. Question number 2. What inspires you? I am inspired by supportive friends who bring out the best in me, motivational content in a variety of forms, giving back to the community, and so on. But what really inspires me a lot is seeing others accomplish amazing things in spite of any adversity they face along the way. And that motivates me to bounce back from failure and keep going. With that said, I enjoy being around people and having small talk with them, which is a great way to hear different points of view. And I may not fully agree with the other person's view, and that is totally okay. But I like to see where they are coming from, instead of saying that they are wrong and I am right. Having awesome conversations where we can learn from each other gives me inspiration and amazing ideas that I may have never thought about. Question number 3. What do you appreciate most in your life, and why? There are so many things I am grateful for, which keep me going in life. The biggest thing I am very thankful for is my family and friends who are there for me whenever new obstacles come my way and whenever I reach big milestones. That brings me to something else I'm grateful for, and that is the drive I have when overcoming adversity in life. And those experiences shaped me into becoming the amazing, capable young man I am today. Everyone has good days and bad days in life, and I think of bad days as days for learning and growth. During those times, I like to think about what all is going well in my life and what I am grateful for. It is easy to take things I am fortunate to have for granted, since I had the tendency to get so preoccupied on the next big thing instead of immersing myself in the present. At the end of the day, the only way to truly be happy is to appreciate what you already have. Question number 4. What was your best reinforcer, which motivated you to do better, focus, and also helped you in achieving your goal? What really helped me stay motivated towards achieving my goal is thinking about how far I have come. Obstacles I face are scary at first, but what is really helpful is having the mentality, I have overcome many obstacles before, and this time will be no different. With that being said, I like to think of obstacles that I was anxious to deal with at first, and how I feel now that I dealt with it. I've learned that growth occurs outside my comfort zone. Question number 5. What got you motivated to get to the gym? What advice would you have for someone trying to get started? I really wanted to get in shape and be healthy, both mentally and physically. In the past, I would go to the gym for a short period of time and then stop going for a while. And this cycle repeated a few times. That is, until one day, I developed a mindset to keep going and continue working hard. Particularly, when I initially did lunges, my mechanics were not that good. And I felt like I would never be able to do it. In spite of that, I decided to keep trying, and keep trying. And now, I am able to do walking lunges with dumbbells. When starting out your fitness journey at the gym, I would take it kind of slow and start by hitting the gym 3 times a week for half an hour. I would not push myself too much and start with lighter weights. And as you get better with it and have the mechanics down, you can gradually increase the weight. I spent a few months getting my workouts locked into my routine. And then I decided to hire a personal trainer to guide me so I could rise to a higher level. And the guidance really helped me come a long way in my fitness journey. At first, it was really challenging to make it a point to go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. And there are days where I have a lot on my plate. So instead of doing 3 sets as usual, I cut it down to 2 sets. When I don't feel like going, I still hit the gym and do the best I can. That way, I am at least making some progress. If I only do my workouts when I feel like it, then I am not going to reach my goals. Question number 6. Do you have any advice for when you feel lost and are looking for new goals? To begin with, feeling lost is normal, and it is okay to not be okay. As a matter of fact, while we do not want to feel lost in life, there are amazing lessons that it teaches us. Personally, I have learned to never give up on something I care about, and to keep moving forward. I like to go with the mentality, the greater the storm, the brighter the rainbow. It relates to a famous saying, April showers bring May flowers. The water that falls down from the sky is what drives seeds to grow into beautiful flowers. You may be crying right now, but the tears that come out of your eyes are the water your dream seeds need to grow. As far as setting goals, I would start by thinking about what it is you want to achieve in life and start taking steps towards achieving it. I think it is best to start by spending 5 to 10 minutes every day on a goal. In essence, it does not have to be all or nothing. Question number 7. What does it mean to be a best friend? My definition of a best friend is someone who is there for you during your ups and downs and has your back. A best friend is a positive role model who looks out for you and has your best interest in mind. That means they make sure you make good decisions and want to see you succeed. The most awesome part about having a best friend is that you both have a lot of fun together. And a friendship can still be around, even after a while of not communicating. What's important is that you are able to talk again like no time has passed. There are many ways to define a best friend, but I think the most fundamental qualities are having your back and supporting you during your struggles and celebrating with you during your success. Anybody who's your friend only when it's convenient for them is considered a fair weather friend, not a best friend. Question number 8. What inspired you to start a podcast? I've always wanted to give talks in public for a while, and I am very passionate about sharing my own experiences in a way that it positively inspires others. One day, I got the idea to do something that I have never really thought about, and that was starting a podcast. So I decided to think about it and told some of my friends that I want to start a podcast. And they all said that I should do it. The most challenging part was coming up with a name for my podcast. After many months of trying to think of a good name, I finally settled with Bright Colors of Inspiration. The reason I chose that name is because this podcast show as a whole is designed to spread positivity and inspire others. In addition to that, I love stunning bright colors very much. So that is why I named it Bright Colors of Inspiration. I'll never forget the launch of my very first podcast episode back in September 2021. And the topic for that episode was positive thinking. That episode was very well received, and a lot of positive comments came pouring in from my listeners. And that is what motivated me to keep going. Question number 9. What has been the most rewarding part of the podcast? The most rewarding part about doing this podcast is reading positive comments and constructive feedback from listeners. I have received many awesome comments from listeners, such as how it helped them put things into perspective and develop a positive mindset. The awesome part about doing this podcast is that it not only helps others, it also helps me in the process. I feel fulfilled doing this podcast because I am being productive and I have the goal of making a difference. When my podcast is making a difference in one person's life, I am doing my job well. Sometimes people are going through rough days and they are on the verge of giving up on their dreams. But a kind word someone says has the power to make someone's day and even encourage them to not give up and to keep chasing their dream. I am learning awesome new skills, such as putting myself in my audience's shoes and making sure the content of an episode flows really well in a way that keeps the listener engaged. One thing a lot of people love about my content is that it is kid-friendly and very easy to understand. Question number 10. Have you learned anything about yourself from doing this podcast? Yes, I have learned a lot about myself from making these podcast episodes. One of the biggest lessons I have learned was keeping the audience in mind as I am creating these episodes. I try to design my podcast episodes in a way that it keeps the audience entertained while also providing positive wisdom. On that note, I received feedback from a lot of people on my very first episode I have ever published that the background music interrupted the flow of words, and with that, I was able to rectify it from the second episode onwards. In addition to that, some of the podcast episodes did not get as many views as expected, and it was a little discouraging. But I learned to never let that stop me from creating podcast episodes. That completes 10 questions for this listener Q&A. It has been incredible doing this podcast with the goal of inspiring others with positivity. I am very grateful to each and every one of you who supported me and my podcast. This concludes Season 1 of The Bright Colors of Inspiration. If you have any questions or requests for future podcast episodes, feel free to reach out to me via direct message on Instagram at Bright Colors of Inspiration, or by sending me an email at brightcolorsofinspiration@gmail.com. Have an awesome summer and stay positive. I'll be back this fall for Season 2 of The Bright Colors of Inspiration.